Hello, everybody. I'm Becky from Made with Many. Um, I'm here today because we wanted to have a chat about the Youth Arts and Skills project in Wellingborough that I'm running. It's all about getting creative in Wellingborough and making a difference to the local community. So we're looking for young people who are 13 to 18, based anywhere in Wellingborough, to come and join us on Wednesdays to do all sorts of creative things that you might be interested in: music, art, film, animation, could be dance, whatever. Um, and also to think about ways that we can make a really positive impact on the Wellingborough community. So it might be things that you'd like to see change for young people locally. There might be things that you've seen around the country that you think Wellingborough should have, or there might be kind of groups in Wellingborough that you think actually are deserving of some support, or places that need to make a change, whatever. But we're kind of easing you in gently, hopefully, because the first project we're doing is we've got a mural project in Eastfield Park, which we are organising for October half term. So no one has to come with any ideas yet about the kind of projects we might want to do, but this is a nice little introduction. And today I'm going to talk to the artist Tony Nero, who is going to actually be designing and painting the mural with hopefully lots of young people from Wellingborough that come along and join us. I'll just do some details before I bring Tony in. So we start on Wednesday, the 12th of October. It's 6 to 8 o'clock at St Mark's Church, which is on Queensway in Wellingborough. If you can come to the first session, great. If you can't, they are running various Wednesdays actually throughout like the whole year. So you can join us either the 12th, or you can come along on the 19th, or come along and start with us in October half term on the mural. And then we'll be meeting for lots of different Wednesdays after that. If you can't remember any of the things I just said, don't worry, they're all on the internet. Go over to madewithmany.org /youth, and you can look up details. You can also find my contact details on there if you want to drop us a line and go, oh, Becky, what were you talking about? What can we do? But we just want to find lots of young people who are, like I say, 13 to 18 in Wellingborough, who are interested in doing something positive, learning some new stuff, getting creative. Whether you have skills already creatively or not, don't worry. If you're interested, we'd love to have you along. So no more rambling from me. I'm going to bring Tony in, who's our artist for the mural in Eastfield Park. Hi, Tony. How are you?
Hi, Becky. I'm fine. Thanks
Good.
for having me on, for having this little chat. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, well, I just obviously we met. I think it was yesterday, and we went down to Eastfield Park to have a quick look at the underpass that we're going to be doing. But actually, I don't know very much about you at all. So I kind of wanted to get to know you and kind of your art style, and actually what you hope, working with young people, might give you ideas for your mural for. But I mean, do you want to give me a little bit of introduction as to like who you are, what you do?
Right. Okay. So, start very briefly. Currently, I'm an artist working in Peterborough, based in Peterborough and working in Peterborough. I do a lot of, how can I put it? A lot of paintings and drawings. I also tutor at the local college, the Peterborough College. I also tutor young people as well in the evenings, and that stems from age anything from say 8, 7, 8 up to adults. I tutor in the evenings. So just whoever is interested in art and whoever wants to get involved. So that's what I do at the moment. I'm a full-time professional artist. Everything I do is surrounded with art, art and any creativity. I sort of started my career, started as a graphic designer.
Okay.
Originally, I was actually meant to go to fashion college to do fashion designing. I was meant to be a fashion designer. But while I was actually waiting to start uni as a fashion designer in London, I got a job working as a graphic designer for a printing company. And as a youngster, I was getting paid, getting money, and being able to buy trainers and clothes and stuff. So I decided to stay on instead of going to uni. And doing that as well, can you imagine? My mother almost killed me because she was obviously looking forward for me to go into uni and doing that sort of thing. So I stayed on with the company. I did an apprenticeship with them, learned to be a graphic designer. During this time, I've always wanted to be an artist. So when I sort of was at school, I was always interested in art, always wanted to be an artist. But I took that path of being a graphic designer, where I was actually designing record sleeves. and designing stuff for a lot of people in the record industry. Met a few of the guys. Around that time, it was a lot of the punk bands, you know, around that time. And I mean, a lot of the youngsters at the moment, they wouldn't know much about vinyl records, but that's what we designed. That's what we did around that time. I look a bit young, but I'm not as young as I look, really.
Oh, that's really interesting. That's such like an interesting like way in. But you always knew that you wanted to be an artist. Like how young were you when you're like, I want to do this for like my living?
I mean, when I was at school, I wanted to be an artist, you know. But the thing is, at school at the time, your career advisors, they would say to you, oh, you know, you don't want to do art. It's too competitive. It's hard, you know. So you get disillusioned about things like that because of the advice you sort of get. What I find it's very important to advise young people in a positive way, you know, in anything that they want to do. That's what I find. I mean, even at the moment, you know, I speak to friends here in Peterborough, other artist friends, and we always say that, you know, we wish we had people around to talk to us about art and the things that we wanted to do in the creative field, to help us, you know, because as young people, you need that kind of guidance, you know. So yeah, I always knew I wanted to be an artist, but then, you know, got involved in the graphic design side, which was still a creative side, and I was quite happy to do that. And every now and again, I'd get an opportunity to do a drawing for a record sleeve or something like that. So then, you know, you're still doing a little bit. But then it was only about after about 10 plus 15 odd years of working for the company. After that, I actually started my own graphic design company, ran that for about 10 years. And it was only after that, when I packed up running a business as such, that I went back into starting to doing art. And I worked part-time for a charity, still as a graphic designer. And I kept saying to myself and to colleagues around me, oh, I was going to have this exhibition, this amazing exhibition. Kept talking about. And then one day my manager said to me, you keep talking about this exhibition. When are you going to have this exhibition? It suddenly dawned on me that I didn't even have any work. Didn't even have any work. So then I spent a few years just painting and creating and drawing and creating bits and pieces. And eventually I had an opportunity from some friends who had some space to have an exhibition. So I had my very first exhibition in 2008. And after that, it just sort of encouraged me to just keep doing art. So I just kept building up myself, keep doing art regularly, exhibiting in literally anywhere I was able to hang some work, cafes, anywhere someone would allow me to hang a bit of work. And you know, and eventually, like now, I do a lot of exhibition, lots of different things, and to this sort of stage. But yeah, that's kind of the basic story of my journey, you know.
Yeah.
Up to today. Yeah.
No, that's really interesting. Yeah, I think people are often put off, I think, like at school or by parents and stuff who might not know anyone who can actually make a living being a creative person. And actually, you know, you really, really can. But we could talk for hours. But because my background is film, and it's exactly the same thing. If you say you want to work in film at school, they're like, oh, that sounds a bit risky. But actually, the industry is crying out for people. But let's have a little look at some of your work, because I think that's probably what people are interested in, and seeing what kind of thing, you know, might be the type of style that this mural that we're doing in Eastfield Park might be. So I'm going to, if I can do this correctly, I'm going to bring up, actually it's a mural piece that you sent me a photo of, which looks really amazing. Where is it? There we go. Tell us a little bit about this one.
Okay. All right. So yeah, this piece is really quite interesting, really. It was originally done by an artist 30 odd years ago, a local artist 30 odd years ago. And it's really weird. I've spoken to him a few times, and now his name is sort of slipped me. It'll come back to me in a bit. But yeah, and I think there was some youngsters from the local college who actually helped him with some of the work. But this piece was so important to the community because it actually had some of the images in the piece was actually people from the community at that time, right? And those people are like adults now. So the community wanted to restore this piece because it was actually really in a really bad way. Uh, so there were grants from the Arts Council and various other bodies, and an art group in Peterborough here called Peterborough Presents managed to put the whole project together. We used special paints on the wall that bounded with the concrete, so that makes it last longer. So hopefully this piece will last for like another 50 odd years. I think there was about 6 of us working on this piece in particular. We spent I think it was about 6 weeks we spent working on this piece
Wow.
slowly. The thing about it as well, because it was a restoration project, it's having to try to paint it similar to how it originally was, and using references to try and recapture the same scene and the same style of work. Um, that made it very difficult as well as an artist, because you're trying to paint like how someone else is painted, and you're trying to restore the piece. But all in all, it's really been a successful piece of work. Just remember the guy's name is Francis Gomela. Yeah.
Okay. Well, actually, then, like, I'm sorry, I said I'd bring up some of your work, and then I've actually brought up another artist's work. However, like, so what, like, obviously, you're saying some community members worked with you on it. So obviously, we're going to hopefully have lots of young people from Wellingborough come and work on the mural as well. What do people, what will people expect to be doing, and like, what do you think the people that came along and helped you on that, like, what did they get out of it? Were they all people that were really into painting, or actually never done it before, or?
Well, the people who actually worked on this piece were all artists. Yeah, so it was all actual artists working on this piece because it was a restoration piece. There were obviously consultation from the public and the local community, but the actual work were carried out by actual artists. Yeah.
Interesting. Well, let me bring up something else. Let's have a little quick look. So this one, because this is something that I saw that you did. I think I saw that you did recently. This looks like it's not quite the same as the Eastfield underpass. However, looks like is it an underpass or a roadway thingy?
Yeah, it's under a bridge. Okay, it's under a bridge at Ferry Meadows, around Orton, in Peterborough. And so basically, this particular area under the bridge, they're actually using it at the moment as a designated sort of place where they do parties, dances, but it's actually a legal space, right? So the people from Ferry Meadows, which is Neem Park Association, they have allowed us to work in this space to create these pieces. This particular piece was actually not one of the largest piece I've ever done. It's actually 15 foot. So it was for me, it was a very big challenge, because I've never done anything that big before. And it's only quite recently I've been working on these large scale pieces, which I've been encouraged by a few of my other friends here in Peterborough, who do a lot of street art. They've been sort of pushing me, encouraging me to sort of go bigger,
Yeah. Well, because I'm going to show a few other little bits, because I'm going to ask you in a minute about your kind of style, which I'm sure is probably a question as an artist that people don't want to be, I don't know, pinpointed into a style as such. I don't know. Maybe you like that, but well, this one, it's really striking.
Yeah. So this one is basically playing around with what I've done over the years, and amalgamating different styles. So I'm using a sort of an abstract style, and also my love for art and music, and the fact that over the years I've designed record sleeves, and amalgamating the two different styles to try and create something different, a whole new style. There isn't anyone, as far as I know, in the country that's actually producing work like this. So it's using the sort of realistic and abstract style of painting, and I'm actually using broken vinyl records and guitar strings on the pieces. So which is totally different to anything else that I do. Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah. Do you know what? Because I don't know. Again, because my background, it has been kind of film photography stuff. We've always been told that taking a great photograph is about you know, in this world, particularly where we're all scrolling through phones and whatever else, to make you really look at it and try and, you know, to get that attention for a long period of time. And actually, you know, I'd looked at it for quite a bit of time, and I hadn't clicked it was a record, but now you can see it.
Yeah.
Really interesting. Right,
Yeah.
let me
So the record's actually been broken to create that, to create some drama. Yeah.
And then I'm going to do, which one should I do? I'm going to do this one because I like the look of this one. Yeah. Tell us a little bit about this one.
Okay, so this one, there's another artist here in Peterborough called Court. His street art name is Court, and he actually runs a little festival here in Peterborough called Court Fest. He's got a lovely studio in an area called Hampton, and he'll gather a few artists together, and we'll go down and we'll spend a day or 2 days and just paint some street art on large boards. This one, I think it's an 8 foot by 8 foot. That also was another challenge, with the guys that are always pushing me, saying, "Come on, yeah, try and do something large," you know, because I'll do something as large as that, and then I'll do like a little mini canvas as well. But yeah, this one I really enjoyed working on this one because, you know, working on this piece is like, you know, there's no pressure. It's not commission. It's something that you're just creating and working on at your own pace. Also, working on this piece, I've been practicing using spray cans and trying to develop that side of my art a little bit more. And this piece was actually, I think on this one, I actually used more spray cans than I did any brushwork, because most of the time I've always used brushwork. So it's really quite interesting to work with the spray cans. Difficult as well at times. Yeah.
Well, so I mean, to be fair, I think I've just kind of shown really like diverse range of things that you do. But like, do you have a style? What is it that, like, I don't know, makes you get up and want to paint something?
Well, the thing is, you know, some years ago, someone had said to me, a good friend and gallery owner had said to me, you know, what is Tony Nero's style? How do you define Tony Nero? And it actually worried me for a little while, because I thought, gosh, yeah, I need to be defined as an artist. Am I a portrait artist? Am I a landscape artist? Am I a wildlife artist? Because I do all these things, you know. So it worried me for a little while. But after pondering on it for no longer than probably a week or two, it occurred to me, hold on, I'm an artist. I'm a creative person. That's what we do. Why do I need to be defined as in one style? So then after I sort of came to terms with that, I felt really happy, and I felt that release, that I didn't have to no longer worry about that. I'm a creative person. So going back again, I do lots of different things. I paint in oils, I paint in acrylics, I paint in watercolors, pencil drawings, pastels, and subject matter diverse. Totally anything. I'll work with anything. And I find this quite helpful because I actually tutor kids and adults. I find it's helpful because you have a little bit more knowledge of some of the other materials to work with, so you can help to tutor people, help to make people understand. So as far as my style, I think I just like to be known as a creative person who, because as well, for me as an artist, I'm always trying different things and trying to develop more and more all the time. So whereas you do have some artists, they like to stick to one particular thing or one style and develop that style. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that, nothing at all. Because if you focus on something, it means that you could really develop it and become a master of that, you know? It's just that sometimes you've got crazy people like me who like to do different things.
But this is perfect actually for this project, isn't it? Because the whole point is, you know, you've come and you are the artist, and you are going to put together the final design and do it all, but obviously with the help of young people. And actually, you know, in a way, it's a bit of a pun, but we've got a blank canvas. So actually, obviously, we hope that young people come along on Wednesday the 12th to St Mark's to just talk about stuff. And what do you hope that you might get just from talking to the young people about, and what might you talk to them about?
Well, I'm hoping sometimes it's about even talking to them about their life, how they live in the community, how they interact with other people, what do they like, What do they themselves see as being part of the community? What things that they do on a regular basis? And sometimes from that, you get an idea of things and things around them, and you get an idea of things that you can actually put into a piece, or even ask them things. What would they like to see? You know, because I think one of the problems we faced generally all over the place with young people is that, you know, there's not enough for them to do. There's not enough to inspire them. You know, when I was growing up, you know, there was always youth centers and all these different places that you can go and things you can do. Um, a lot of the youth centers and community centers are closed down and things like that. So a lot of young people don't have a lot of the outlet and even the inspiration, encouragement that I would say even I had as a youngster, you know. Um, yes, things are different, you know, the technology and stuff like that we never had when I was younger, but I think you need that inspiration. You need people to inspire you. You need things around you. You need places to go to, you know. So I think young people really, really need to be inspired so that they can take ownership of some of the things around them and look after the things around them, you know. That's very important.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, what if there's someone out there who's like, I like me, who can't, you know, they can barely use a paintbrush. The idea of spraying paint on a wall fills me with fear because it would
Yeah.
just look awful, I think. What would you say to them who are a bit worried about that kind of side of things?
Well, one of the things I always say to young people when I'm tutoring them or talking to them is always don't be afraid to let go and just try. Yeah. Um, One of the things that always holds us back is we're always afraid of doing something wrong or messing it up, or especially, oh, I can't do that, you know. So I always say just try, just, you know. One of the things that I'm looking at doing, say working on this mural, so that some of the young people can actually have a go and not be afraid of trying, is actually cut some stencils of some images that so that they can actually just come along and spray without having to worry that they're going to mess things up, you know. So whoever's helping, they'll get a chance to actually spray and do. I'll get you to do one as well. Yeah.
Yeah, great. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, I'm excited.
Definitely. Yeah.
Um, Yeah, brilliant. Well, so obviously, if people want to kind of look at what you've done before and that kind of stuff, your website is artoftonynero.com, which is on the bottom of the
Yeah.
screen now.
Hmm.
So they can, I think, probably can look at some of the images that you've sent me and stuff as well.
Yeah.
But
Also on like Instagram as well. That's probably one of the places where you'll find a lot of my images. Some of the images on my website, I just don't get a chance to update stuff. So probably quite
always the way.
old stuff.
Well,
Yeah.
yes. So what's your Instagram?
Out of Tony Nero as well. Yeah.
So at Art of Tony Nero.
Out of Tony Nero.
Fabulous.
Yeah.
Amazing. Well, thank you very much for joining me for this little chat. Well, I don't know about you, but I'm very excited about hopefully having lots of young people join us, either those planning stages, like I
Yeah.
say, Wednesday, 12th of October, 6 o'clock at St Mark's Church, or coming along to the mural, which we're doing Monday, Wednesday and Thursday in half term. Young people can come down.
Yeah.
We obviously might be doing some work outside of those times too, depending on how long it's going to take. It is a
Possibly.
big old underpass, isn't it?
It's the big wall. It's the big wall. Yeah. But I'm looking forward to meeting the young people on the 12th and the 19th because you know, I love talking to young people, and young people have got so much passion. It's just a shame that sometimes we can't really, you know, use a lot of that passion and put it into really positive stuff. So it'd be really, really nice to sort of meet them and have a chat with them, and it'd be interesting to see who turn up as well. You know, so we get a different variety and different ideas. Yeah.
100%. That is exactly what this whole project is about. You know, people with passion to come, you know, build some skills, and like you say, hopefully, you know, they can learn some things about themselves. They might find some things out about their creativity that they can take on into later life and be encouraged, and whatever else. That'd be really exciting. So thank you very
Yeah.
much for joining me, Tony. I
Thanks, it's been
usually
great.
do like a really awkward little wave on these to say goodbye to you. Bye. Let's do
Yeah,
that. Bye.
yeah. I'll see you next week. Yeah.
Fabulous. So I've said it a million times, but I'll say it again. So we start Wednesday, 12th of October, 2022, in case you're watching this video quite a long time in the future. But you can join us, even if you've missed the mural in October half term. We're doing this project for a good year. So you can get in touch with us, madewithmany.org/youth. Is where everything's at. It's all about being creative and making a difference in Wellingborough. So if you are a young person, 13 to 18, and that kind of floats your boat, then please do get in touch with us in one way or another. Made with Many is also on Facebook and all that kind of jazz too. I'm not going to do an awkward wave. I'm just going to end it now. Thank you very much, everybody.